Lancer Yang, I met you, probably this is the third time I've seen you here.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. And you're going to talk about something which is quite interesting. Mind-body hacks. Wow. What is you going to talk about? I don't know. But I think the title is quite interesting. Mind-body hacks. You know, because in the IT industry, we are talking about hacking, hackers, and how to hack growth of a company. You know, we have been very focused on how to help companies grow through hacking. Hacking means really jumpstart the company. For example, July the 1st, your launch day, if you are interested in hacking the growth of your company, talk to me.
Okay. Thank you.
And this is real, you know. And we need an evaluator for Valencia's speech. I would like to recommend Patricia Lim to be the evaluator. I know she's a seasoned speaker. And seasoned.
She has changed her name to Patricia Yang.
Really? Can you shut it up? No, you can't shut it up. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, my name is Valencia. I was actually preparing myself after the break, but this came to a little bit surprise, so I'm trying to get myself together. So here I am a neuro-linguistic programmer. So that's my practice. By training, that's what I do. I'm actually a personal development coach. And today I'm going to talk about 3 very important things that I would actually say that all of you can actually take home. 3 things that will change, that will help you to do a mind shift, a mindset. Everyone would want change. Who wants change?
I want my change.
If you want mind change, change is good. So people want to change and upgrade themselves, change like your job, your career, you know, any different parts of your life. You want to see like, oh, this person's driving this car, I would like to upgrade myself. Or, you know, I would want to have, you know, this apartment, you know, you want to constantly upgrade yourself, right? And so here, this is what I thought about, and if you can just read out with me. If you expect a change in life, you cannot remain the same. How many of you here actually agree with me?
Yes.
Right, a lot of times you're like, oh yeah, I want to change someone this, but then the next day you go into this same thing over and over again, and you say, why isn't this, you know, why do I not see any improvement in my life? Because are you then, the question is, are you even, you know, making that change? What are the changes? We're not talking about big, huge leap, maybe something small, you know? So, the next, makes you feel trippy. So here, the first part that we need to remember is to understand the first thing that I'm going to talk about. There are 3 things, right? The first is what we call our mind and body. So we have, and on average, studies actually shows that we have 70,000 thoughts. I'm sure all of you are unaware of the thoughts that you have. Or maybe, perhaps, most times, are your thoughts beneficial to you, or are they self-sabotaging? So 70,000 thoughts keeps running in our head, right? But what exactly, so my question is, what exactly are those thoughts that you actually constantly repeating them to yourself? And then hear them, and it affects your emotions. So for instance, like you can have a thought that makes you feel angry, and then, or it makes you feel happy, right? So most times, do you actually are aware of what thoughts comes into your head? So mind and body are one. You can't be thinking of something and not feeling anything, right? Like makes you happy? What are some of the thoughts that will actually make you happy?
When you think of Penny, it makes me happy.
And see, exactly what did he just do? He did this, right? So your physiology actually changes when you're happy. But if, say, all of you, if I were to tell you, can you do this? Can you just slouch? And say, after me, I am happy. And then you go like, open your chest and say, I am sad. That's very different because mind and body is one. So you want to keep telling yourself that I am happy. You know, like rather than, oh, I'm sad. You don't want to be like walking this, you know, like most times in Singapore, this is what I see. People are rushing, people are on the phone. You know, like you can see physiologically, a lot of us are in our zone, most times thinking about work, thinking about a lot of things that we worry about. So mind and body is one that we need to actually be aware of. And the second thing is the language. What are the words that you are telling yourself? What are you saying to yourself every day? Do you wake up in the morning and say, it's another day. Oh, it's Monday. Oh, I have to, you know, oh, there I go. I have to meet, you know, this client, that client. I'm going to meet my boss. How many of you actually have a positive, good thought in the morning when you wake up? You do? And what, so like it depends on what's the day ahead for you. And when we are aware of the words, because how many of you agree that I can actually say something to you and that will uplift your spirit, make you feel happy? But at the same time, I can also say something that makes you upset. So then if you can tell that to someone, you can also tell that to yourself. We can speak good to others, or our kids, or you know, anybody in your life. Likewise, we have a lot of self-talk in ourselves and our mind. We tell ourselves like, hey, I want to do this, like dream big. And then you have this other voice that say, are you sure you can do that? Are you sure you can afford that? You know, so these are all languages that we use on ourselves that we have to be aware. Are we able to, you know, say good stuff? So the next is then we go into a habit. So you have to think about how then, from a mind and body, how you react, how you think, how you feel, and then what are the words that you want to tell yourself, and then you change it into a habit. So you change it into something that you practice every day in your life, telling yourself, guiding your thoughts, guiding yourself to where you want to be, how you want to be, what kind of life you want to be, and what kind of life that you would like to lead. What kind of change, what kind of, you know, little change do you want to make in your life? And you start, you know, putting all this into a set that is a skeleton in your life that you tell yourself and you lead every day, into a practice, into a habit, and that's where you program and you hack those habits. So I'll leave you to think about these three things. You reap what you sow, so basically you plant good stuff into your head, put that into practice, into everyday life, and if you want to know more, you can actually contact me to get more. Like we do workshops as well, like one day or a day, and we customize to your needs. Speak confidently, and this is my contact. So feel free to just take note on that. We can, you know, have a chat. Thank you.
Wow. So, Patricia?
Yeah, right. Sure, no notes, no notes.
No notes.
You cannot remember.
Hey, you need a teleprompter lah.
Thank you.
No notes. No notes.
Good evening, fellow Arborians, and in particular to Valencia. I think he has given us a very profound speech. I've heard him before, and I feel that he's a very excellent speaker, and he gives us a lot to learn.
She, not
She.
She. He is me.
Yeah.
Fail.
Don't worry, chair.
Okay, I like your presentation, and especially the effect when you talk about our 7,000 thoughts and you go zoom across the screen. That was so effective. It just shows you the number of thoughts that goes through your mind, and you tell us that we need to have very positive thoughts to self-talk ourselves, to be positive, and to habituate our self-talk to always keep us feeling positive in order to improve on ourselves and not to be dragged down by negative thoughts. And the idea of having the mind and body connected. So whatever you do physically will affect your mental state. So whatever you if you have a positive mental state, then you will be more energized and you will help you in your physical, the body. So I think you are very successful in your presentation, and I like it, and I have learned a lot from it. Thank you very much.
I sense the nervousness in you. I sense the uncertainty. The words coming one by one, you're thinking and one by one. Alright. But that's okay because of your issues. Okay, we forgive you. Alright, Valencia, I want to talk on your PowerPoint which you used today. This is good. This is good. You can get this. Alright, this one. When you say 70,000 thoughts, is it per hour, per day, or what? It was not stated just 70,000 thoughts. So what was it?
Per day.
Okay, 7,000 per day. I would love this one to be dark color because it's a light color. And this one is okay. This one, can you darken it a little bit? Darken it. It's light. No. No, it's too light. I would prefer it a little bit darker. That's my opinion. And again, all these darken a little bit will be good. It's light. Now, is this okay? Because see, you can't even see this very light. Flow away everything. Okay. Darken the words will be good. Alright, I think the PowerPoint, you can give her a round of applause. For the evaluator, please pay attention. You can't differentiate a man and a woman. Am I a lady?
Very ugly one.
I'm an ugly lady. Still, how many in the room are one? Very good. Your voice projection is also good. You're very clear, very easy message, right? 1, 2, 3. You're using an hand first, second, third. These are the things we need to show when you're doing the speech. Alright? So I cannot comment on you because you're my good friend. On the whole, it's okay. Very good.